it reminds me of another video that's being shared a lot, of this teacher that is constructively questioning a student who is asking about J.K. Rowling and whether she was transphobic. And it's just
Um,
this line of Socratic kind of
mhm.
questioning of like, can you find an instance of this, so-called, is like, all right, minutes go by, you found it. And how does that make you feel? And it was, at the end, this person's like, well, I feel kind of dumb because I was just listening to what people said and I didn't have an actual thought of my own to it. And I didn't
Yeah.
actually sit there for a minute or two and ask myself questions of, well, is this really a bad thing that she said, or is it not? Is this really something I may agree with if I were in her shoes or not? And so I feel people in general, when they approach these things, it doesn't need to feel overwhelming, but there has to be a level of intuition and gut instinct as to, hey, I'm kind of resonating with what they say. It
Yeah.
feels right to me. And then an ability to say, but wait a second, like I do other things they're saying to never do, and I feel good. So why would that be? Maybe I don't agree with this. I mean, we got to use something on our own. We all have this
But
instinct.
yeah,
Have
but you
we
know, in neuroscience,
have we
yeah,
lost our instinct is the point? Because back in the
of
day,
course, yeah.
ancestors would be all about you be in a jungle and get a feeling and you knew you were being tracked. Nowadays, you'll be on your phone and being attacked by an animal, not even recognize it. So is the problem here that we actually lost all those instincts or aren't using them?
Or maybe, yeah, no, I think that in neuroscience there is an explanation on that, like this mass effect of not willing to be against the flow. Like the more people agree on some things, the more you're going to tend to be against that flow.
Yes.
And this is probably, so the less awareness you're going to put into the process of understanding the situation. Is just like, if so many people are saying that, it must be true, and people just follow that trend. And unfortunately, because of the influencers today with thousands and thousands of followers are saying some things, oh, if that guy with 2 million followers say that, it must be true, I cannot
Right.
go against that. So you have this, we have the tendency of following this simple principle and saying like the mass principle, and say, oh, I'm not going to go against the flow. But I do agree with you 100% that the awareness is probably some things that we need to once again educate our people, our kids, to be more and not follow these trends that are in school, because you're going to look cool if you do that. And it's a tough time for teenager, for example, when they go against that, they got rejected. But we need our society to maybe interact differently and have maybe less than 50 people in classes, going back to education on that,
Yeah.
to make sure that we pay attention to the psychological development first. At the beginning, I remember you were talking about um, mental health.
Yes.
This is the biggest issue that's going to pop up very soon.
Yeah.
It's going to explode,
Yeah.
because more and more, like, look, honestly, staying on social media, do you realize that the attention span
Yeah.
went down to 1.6 seconds?
Insane.
This
I
is
know. I know.
insane. ADHD is not even that bad.
I don't even know if we could really classify like ADHD anymore, because everyone suffers from it if you're on social media. It's like
My
you
God, man.
can't stay with a video for more than a few seconds without being like, next, next, next. It's just it is crazy. And I find myself, listen, I always say, like, if I comment on things, it's usually in a way I find myself as part of it. I've been
Yeah,
in that like just endless scroll thing and be like, what am I doing? You
yeah,
could catch yourself. I'm at an age where I didn't have this for most of my life, or at least half my life.
yeah. Same for me.
And
Yeah,
but I can imagine if I were a child or a teenager, your whole life you've been in front of this. This is all you know, basically. So
wow.
I understand it. I understand it messes with my head sometimes when I'm on it too much and my brain feels fried after doing
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
can't imagine what a child goes through or an adolescent going through it. So it is something that is a huge issue. But how do we now, when you get a child started and they start at a young age, it's very hard to
And
turn
you
that
cannot
back.
stop. Look at those kids when you take them, when you take the phone off
Oh, they
their
scream.
hands or their tablets, they're like freak out completely. And since you're,
Completely irrational.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and parents that are busy all day, they come back home and they go like, oh, okay, I just need to rest a bit. My job was shitty today and
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't want to deal with that. Boom, give back the tablet.
It's a
They don't make the
pacifier.
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
babysitter of sorts.
Yeah.
A terrible
Yeah.
one, you know,
Yeah, a
one
terrible
that
one.
rots the mind and absolutely does not help.